Hi YouTube. I thought I'd do a YouTube because I can't sleep. 6:50 in the morning. I haven't really talked about my feelings really on YouTube for a while now because I'm not sure on the point of it really. I don't know. Basically, Daniel has dumped me again yesterday. It's the third time he's dumped me this year and it's only April. The more I think about it, the more I realise it's best that me and him don't get back together. And people have told me, even his family friend Elena told me last year or the year before, because he's dumped me at least 10 times over the last 3 years. What he doesn't realise is that each time he dumps me, it worries me even more that he's going to dump me again. So it's a vicious cycle of me taking him back and the fear of him dumping me again. Yeah, it's a vicious cycle. I don't know. I don't know what to say about it really. Every time I try and reason it out in my head, I can't understand what the problem is. And apart from he maybe enjoys dumping me, perhaps, I don't know. But I can't see what the problem is, to be honest. I get confused easily, I know that much. And then when I get confused, I get frustrated. And we argue. And it usually involves him telling me that I'm dumped. Every time. I think I said it once. I said it to him once this year as well. It was the time when I walked into the bathroom and he whacked the bathroom door into my shoulder, and my other shoulder hit the door frame. And I was so upset about it that I did actually tell him then. But we've made up since then. And now he's dumped me again. What it was is he asked me to meet him at Hewitt's. We were supposed to go shopping. And then he asked me to meet him at Hewitt's. Now, I'm not very good with sudden change. It stresses me out at the best of times. So he says meet at Hewitt's, and I says okay, what about shopping? And he says he says yeah, we can still do shopping, but he's got to go to his to clean his mattress, and then he's at Hewitt's. And I was automatically thinking, we're going shopping, we're going to Hewitt's, we're going to yours. And I was just like, it just completely threw me, because I'm not very good at thinking about all different things at once, to be honest, because of my autism. Yeah. I don't know what to say about it really. I mean, every time he dumps me, it just compounds it. You know, like a bank account. You know how like certain bank accounts have interest. It compounds the fear. Every time he dumps me, it just compounds. It just makes it worse. I don't know whether he's getting off on it or what, but I'm certainly not getting anything out of it. I think how am I going to cope with the dogs and everything, but then a voice in my head says, well, who do you find most difficult to cope with? And I thought, well, Daniel. So I thought, well, there. And the voice was in my head was like, well, there you go then. If you've managed to cope with him for 3 years, then you can cope with both the dogs. I don't know. But I came to his. We had a big falling out before his mum's funeral, and I came to London. I sort of made up with him and came with him to his mum's funeral. And then he's left again. And I felt a bit jealous, to be honest, because everyone's over in Droitwich and he was round at everyone's houses having fun and stuff, and I felt a bit isolated in Wychbold because I don't drive. I think that has quite a lot to do with it, to be honest. I felt very isolated in Wychbold, and he didn't see what the problem was. But I think with my autism, I overthink everything, so everything's going on in my head at the same time. And yeah, it was all going round and round in my head the last couple of weeks. Pardon me. I think we agreed to have a couple of days apart, and then he kept changing it to a different day. He'd come back. He would say, "Oh, I'll come back." First, he was going to come back Tuesday, and then he says, "I'll come back Thursday." And it just, I don't like change. It's constant change all the time, and I'm not very good with change, you know. I don't think he realises how big it is with autism. They're really not very good with constant change all the time. And he's quite an impulsive person. He doesn't. Yeah. So. I don't know what to say about it, really. I mean, every time he keeps dumping me, it just reminds me of. Just reminds me of Aaron, to be honest. I had relationships before that, but I never got too close to them. It's when I get too close to people I have problems. Because with autism, you have to. I think my autism has a lot to do with the problems I have in relationships in general. Because I don't know. I just don't know. I just don't know what. I think he doesn't communicate with me. He definitely doesn't communicate. You know. I mean, it was only about maybe 2-3 weeks ago. He was saying that he thinks that we should just be friends, and then he was talking about he'll look after the dog sometimes, and this, that, and the other. And when she's pregnant, he'll look after. And then somehow we made up again, And then he says to me, "Oh, this is the last time now that we're making up." And it just struck a chord in me. I started thinking last night, well, actually, he's right. Why should I keep constantly saying that it's okay to just keep dumping me all the time by taking him back? I have been upset. I haven't got upset on YouTube or anything, but I have been upset. But I don't think he gets why I'm upset. Everyone else does. I was speaking to Lee, I was speaking to Becky yesterday, and they understood. They was like, "Oh yeah," they was like, I says to Becky, if you was in Birmingham, wouldn't you feel isolated and depressed? And she was like, yeah. And I says to Lee, if you was in Malvern, wouldn't you feel isolated and depressed? I mean, I know Wychbold's only down the road from Droitwich, but there's not an actual... the problem with Wychbold is there's not an actual path. Plus, Luna's really not very good at walking on main roads. She really hates main roads. She's worse than me. I mean, I don't like main roads because of my autism. It stresses me. Main roads stress me out. But I can do it if I have to. But Luna's even worse. Luna will chuck herself into... If she hears a lorry go past, she'll chuck herself into the hedge, or chuck herself... There could be glass in the hedge or anything, and she'd just jump on top of it rather than a lorry going near her. So it's really difficult. There's a few things going against me. There's the fact that I don't drive. Plus, I haven't got a place in Droitwich. I live in Wychbold. And Daniel's good with Luna and Sapphire when he's here. But when he's here, I have a constant dialogue in my head saying that he's going to leave again. And this is the problem, and it'll just continue happening because I need reassurances in my head that he's not going to keep dumping me. And I think because I'm not getting that, I think it's just stressing me out more and more. But really, me and him should have split up a couple of years ago when he told me to go back to Birmingham, and he never wanted to see me again. And he was really nasty that time. And really, me and him should have split up then and stayed apart then. Because I'm quite a clingy person, and he's completely the opposite. He's very... I'm not sure what the opposite of clingy is, but it's definitely Daniel. It feels like he pushes me away all the time. If I try and get close to him, he runs away, kind of thing. And he's told me that was his upbringing. That's just how he is. But my mum used to say that I go around with my heart on my sleeve, and that's the problem. My mum used to say that's the problem with me, that walk around with my heart on my sleeve, which means I don't actually know what that means, to be honest, but that's what my mum used to say. I think it means that I don't know, what exactly does it mean? I don't know, to be honest, but there you go. Easter Sunday, and I don't know. I think I'm going to stay away from relationships, to be honest. I mean, me and relationships just don't agree. I thought it would work out better because he's got his own place now, and I've got my own. Well, I've always had my own place, but he's got his own place. I thought that would work out better, to be honest. But no, I think it would have a couple of years ago when I wasn't so clingy. I think I've just took him back so many times that it's just shattered all my confidence, and yeah. So I don't know what to say about it, to be honest with you. To be honest with you, ever since I got with him, he used to keep walking out. He used to keep walking out, going to Ewitts, going to Lee's. But it never solves anything, because no matter how many times I take him back, no matter how many times I say, yeah, that's okay, to keep leaving me all the time, in my head it messes with my head. Although I can take him back, it doesn't do anything for my. It just makes me feel like shit, basically. And that's how I felt for a couple of years now. I mean, we was getting on a lot better when we was going to gym together and stuff. I mean, lockdown hasn't helped, to be fair, because we haven't been able to do anything. And lockdown is going to be released in 8 days. Well, the gyms and the hairdressers and salons are going to open up in 8 days, as it's the 4th of January today. But I've only slept for about an hour, maybe. I've been doing loads of exercise lately. I must have walked, God, I don't know how much, but I've been walking like about an hour or so every day lately, because just to relieve the levels of stress within myself. I'd ring Daniel and he wouldn't understand why I'm upset or something. I'd ring him and say, what is he doing and everything, and he wouldn't understand why I'm upset. But I think because of the amount of times I've been dumped, it just makes me think, every 5 minutes it makes me think, oh, is he going to cheat on me? Is he going to leave me? I've even told him that I've got a fear of him cheating on me. I've even told him I've got a fear of him leaving me. And he just sort of shrugs it off, like, you know. But I think it's reached a point where how can I put this? Even a pushover will, after so long, because I know I'm a pushover, even a pushover after so long will realise that it's not going anywhere. I mean, I know I'm stupid, but even me, even I can see that it's just a constant cycle, constant vicious cycle of him dumping me and me taking him back. I'll admit I do get stressed I do get stressed. And I might say something like, "Oh, fuck off," or whatever. But he can't just let it go. He has to say, oh, he has to say something like, "Oh, you dumped," kind of thing. And it's just, I mean, people do argue in relationships, but he just walks out every 5 minutes, and I don't know. I don't know what to say about it, but I can't handle it. I can't handle the constant keep walking out every 5 minutes. I think since he's got his own place in Droitwich, he seems even more. Yeah, I mean, it worked better in some ways when he was in Worcester, because he says I'm being clingy, but when he was in Worcester, I would go round to Lee's, maybe have a takeaway with Lee or whatever, or yeah, with Lee, and he would send me a funny message or something, and I'd ring him or whatever and say what's about, and but at least I could understand that he was feeling jealous, and then I felt like he actually wanted me. But since he's got his own place in Droitwich, he doesn't seem to be bothered. Because he's recently got a place in Droitwich, the last couple of months, and since then he's dumped me at least 3 times. I bought him a wash. I think no, Lee bought him a washing machine. No, I bought him a fridge freezer as a housewarming present. But anyway, I'm not bothered about that. That don't bother me. But what does bother me is the constant being dumped all the time. So anyway, I've said how I feel now. I don't think there's any point keep wittering on about it. I can't see a way forward, to be honest. I've had to accept that. I've been thinking all night about it. I don't think he wants to be with me, to be fair, because the amount of times he's dumped me, I think maybe he's seen someone else, I don't know, but I don't know. Okay, peace out, people.